exactly like this. And it was straight grain and smooth here. And I had a little bit of rustication on the bottom. And I would smoke that pipe and I get to the bottom and it was cool all of a sudden. Up here it's hot. So I decided, okay, I'm going to rusticate it a little bit more. And where I rusticated, it's cool. And I'd rusticate a little bit more and it's cool. That pipe is now totally rusticated because it's that much cooler. I mean, I couldn't touch it in some spots. It would get so hot. I'm a hot smoker. But cool, absolutely cool. So it makes a big difference. I've got some pictures here also, and there are some excellent. Jim Cook is one, and I never hesitate to talk about Jim because Jim is really the pioneer of sand carving, and I really believe it's an art. And I have to say this, that for years people tried to, you know how it is. I mean, when you're being successful, somebody's always trying to take you down, and people would say, well, Jim rusticates his pipes and then he blasts them and so forth. No, he never did that. He always did what he says. He says he was following the grain. Well, you have to decide for yourself if he's following the grain, and you can see from these pictures. But he is definitely an artist and a pioneer, and his pipes are absolutely beautiful. There's a few other guys out there that are doing it now. One of them you're going to know right away because I couldn't get his name off the pictures. But here are sand carved pipes, and you take a look at these pictures, and they're front and back, and you tell me if you think they're blasted or sand carved, and if they're following grain on there. So my point is, with this, is that following grain and sand carving are just, they're not synonymous. They're like a oxymoron. It doesn't happen. You're not doing it. Now, there are people that follow the grain better that are sand carving, but there are those that don't, and it depends upon what you like. So,
Bob?
Yes.
Can you take, when you're making a pipe, can you take a pipe, some really deep blast pipes have, you can see this wonderful grain that follows the grain when the soft wood is taken away. Can you enhance a piece that has lesser quality grain by sand carving it, like a ring grain or something?
Absolutely, absolutely. And these pictures are going to show you, these pictures will show you that. I mean, they will show you that. Here's one of the better sand carvers. This is an example, and if I'm being arbitrary, I'm saying that this pipe he probably did follow some of the grain. But here's the thing that you have to ask yourself also when you're talking about following the grain: how many pipes on this table do you see that have ring grain that goes like this around the pipe? I don't think you can even find one, okay? So, I mean, some, but not totally around the pipe, okay? That's a sand carved pipe, and it goes totally around the pipe. This pipe, using this one as an example, this is a beautiful sand carved pipe, and it was a gift to me, so I mean, I love the pipe, okay? But what happens is that he took this pencil blaster, and he held it and created these pock marks as he went around. And that's what they do. And then they dig deeper here as they go around. So if you're interested, there's another way.
That's another good example.
Yeah, here's another one. This is a good example of the same thing I was just saying. And this is, the other thing I have to say is that these sand carvers use the same briar that I use. And I've never seen a pipe with this type of grain. It doesn't mean, again, I want to say, this is a beautiful pipe. And it's a damn good smoking pipe, right, Pete? But, we have to acknowledge, I think we as consumers have to acknowledge that there's now a fourth medium, and these guys some of them are really getting good. I mean, some of them are just absolutely beautiful. So pass this one around too if you want to look at that.
What about the Dunhill ring grains?
This is a sandblast, yeah, and it's a nice sandblast. You know, it's a light sandblast, but it's a nice one. So, did I answer your question?
You did, thank you.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Bob,
Oh, yeah.
what about the dime peel?
Sandblast to me is totally random. Okay, it takes out these soft spots totally random. Sand carving, if you look at Van Aert's pipes, they all seem to have the same, all have the same ring grain. It's
All sand carved.
all, you know, they all look the same.
But it's not just Von Erck. It's you know, Jim Cook has the same thing.
I know.
And it's and there's other guys out there. I mean, as long as it's out, I might as well say it. I mean, Bruce Weaver, who you guys saw about a year or two ago, I guess he was here. He's a master, and I'm telling you, his pipes are awesome, beautiful. They're not for me, but they may be for you. And he's the closest to actually following the grain. But we're not always following the grain when we're a sand carver. You just can't do it. You can't do it. And that's what I'm trying to say about this example. You know, this pipe had nice deep grooves in it. Okay, it doesn't mean it doesn't have nice grooves now, but they are rounded compared to what it used to be. There's a big difference, and if you take these two pipes and look at them together, I mean, you can see what I'm saying. This is sharp and very defined, and this is rounded. You know. Now, if I would have made this deeper, then it would become more like this. You know, it would look that way. But me as a pipe carver, I'm not going to spend 10 or 15 hours on one pipe doing that. That's just,
I know Bruce takes
ridiculous.
15 plus hours on a pipe.
yeah, absolutely.
Well, how about the gentleman who was here the other week?
Joe. Joe's in a class by himself.
Joe's in a class by himself, and Joe is carving all his pipes. He's not sand carving. I mean, he's carving them. You know, he doesn't even sandblast. He rusticates. Rustication is another thing, and I should pass this around. This is a Tiny Nielsen rustication. If you look at both sides of the pipe, you would swear that this is sandblasted. Okay, not even sand carved. And you could look at this, and you could the front of it, and you could say, well, that's sand carved. But it's not. It's all rustication. This is an excellent example of rustication. It's one of the best.
Isn't the sandblasted pipe lighter?
Is it lighter? Yeah, it gets lighter because, you know, especially when you're talking this size, because you're taking away, you know, you're taking away more, and we're talking grams when we get down to that small grams, you know.
Why are so many sandblasts black?
A lot of times they're trying to hide a blemish in it, okay? But the other thing about a black sandblast is, and I don't want you, please don't get your mind going that there's something wrong in that pipe when I say blemish. There, you know, I don't know of, and I can say this to you truthfully with my hand on the Bible, I don't know of a pipe maker that is hiding something that is going to affect that pipe. They don't do it. When I'm talking a blemish, I'm talking something smaller than a pinhead. Just a black dot that would stand out if it was a smooth pipe. Okay, if it was a smooth, straight grain pipe. And rather than try other techniques, and pipe makers use stains and so forth to hide it, you know, it's not affecting the pipe. So, but the other thing I wanted to say about black is really highlights the color, or excuse me, the color. Really highlights the definition in the blast. You know, this is a Bill Taylor pipe, Bill Ashton Taylor. This is a wonderful blast. I mean, this is really a nice blast, and it's not sand carved. And you can see again the grain in this pipe. This one you should pass around too. It's black. I don't think there's anything in that he's hiding in that pipe whatsoever.